Hi, this is Gina with Perfectly Imperfect Crafts by Gina. I thought I would start this video with the weather that we're expected to have all weekend long. So this is just the beginning. I don't know how many inches are expected, but I think they call this springtime in the Rockies. But let's go ahead and get my video started. Welcome back. I am sharing hashtag Tin Can Designs early before the 15th of the month because I'm including Easter tin cans, and Easter this year is April the 10th. Because of the way the camera is set, I'm going to have to do these a little bit differently. So this first one is a smaller one. I believe this one was a tomato sauce can, and I used this natural paper that I bought from Temu. I've been using that a lot because I have a lot of it, and I'm trying not to buy new stuff. But I also have this really pretty kind of web ribbon, and I wanted to stay within the spring theme, so I added some pretty flowers, and you can see some butterflies. So this is very simple. I also noted that I don't like to show tins, so most of my tin cans I do try to hide the tin so it doesn't show. So this one right here, I think I'm still within the spring theme. This lovely napkin was given to me by Janet with Sunflowers and Craft, and then I just used some twine to cover the bottom, and the inside I used some of the napkin to cover the sides and then the bottom, and then I decided to add this little frill on the top. Here's another one that I tried to incorporate the spring theme. So what I used was some burlap, and it had some flowers, but I also fussy cut some of the flowers out, and I just put them throughout the can. And I had this really pretty ribbon, so I just decided to add it at the bottom. So you can see I put some burlap in the middle and then also at the bottom. And now for my Easter tin can. In my last video I showed this one, but it was a work in progress. I bought some scrap paper from Temu, and I had these really cute bunnies, so I just fussy cut around. I added one of my die cuts here, and this is part of that paper, and then I just added a bunch of candies. So I'll be gifting these to family and friends, so then that way it looks like a little Easter basket but with a tin can. This is another one that I made in my last video, and it says Happy Easter. You can see I used more of that Easter scrapbook paper that I got from Temu, but the difference is I just added candy in this just to show you what you can do once you decorate a tin can. These two right here, I did something different. I had this wire, so I made it like a tin can Easter basket. So I wrapped it around with twine, and then you can see here I just put a bunch of Easter candy. So, do you remember these when you were young, these little bracelets? I wanted to make sure that I included candies that were wrapped. Here's another one of those cute bunnies that I got from that scrapbook paper from Temu, and then I added a little bit of maybe a tail. It might be too big of a tail. And then I added some birdhouses, and I put some twine here, and then just a little gem in the middle just to give it some creativity. And this is just a table or a basket with Easter eggs around it. I thought it might be a good idea just to highlight it with like a black permanent marker. But you can see how cute this is, and again filled with some really nice Easter candy. The other thing I wanted to add to this video is another shout out. As you may know, I am a fan of Celeste with A Crafter's Story, and I want to give her another shout out. I think she's an artist. She's so creative. She thinks of amazing crafts. Sometimes it amazes me how she makes something out of nothing to something beautiful. I also found out she's a writer, and I ordered this book, and it's called Children of Odin, and it's by Celeste Wilson. And I love this book. I haven't finished it, but I have a goal to finish it definitely within the next 2 weeks. It's an easy read, meaning there's not a lot of pages, and it's a very good story. She now has a trilogy of a different story with 3 sisters. And if you're a reader, I think you would definitely like this story. Lastly, I'm going to move these across. I have made about 25 Easter cards, and I sent them out to family and friends. But I wanted to share like the last 3 of them. Ever since I started making envelopes out of the 12 by 12 paper, I just become obsessed with them. And then I'm making just single cards. And then I found this stamp, and the stamp says, I've searched the world high and low and looked all over the land, and the best card I could find for you is the one I made by hand. I didn't even know I had this stamp, but my friend Pam was over and we were crafting, and she's the one that said, hey, look at this stamp. So now I'm using that stamp. So I'm basically creating different designs for Easter and for spring. So here's one of them, and then the envelope. This card is from a napkin I just bought, and I thought it was so cute. And then I added these little die cut flowers and added some gems in the middle. This last one, this is just some scrapbook paper. I had this stamp that said Delight, and I made these flowers a while back in one of my videos, so I decided to add to this card just for spring being in the air. You may have heard me talk about I'm not buying any more crafts. I just probably decluttered or downsized my craft room by a third. I had so much stuff. It's going to be in a yard sale or Goodwill. I'm not sure yet because there's so much stuff. But what do? A friend and I went over to the Dollar Tree, and they had these cute little wood pieces for Easter. It says Easter wishes and bunny kisses. So I thought how cute to add these to some more Easter cards. So I am going to do that. And then here's a bunny. Let's see what else there is. Here's another egg. This one says Cotton Tails, Bunny Trails. And I think that's about it. And then here's a little gnome, and it says Happy Easter. So I thought perfect for making my Easter cards. So that is it. I am not doing as many videos. As I mentioned about 3 weeks ago, I unfortunately have cancer. It's called follicular lymphoma, and I'm going to start immunotherapy on April 11th. And part of the reason I'm starting therapy, I have extreme fatigue. And until you have fatigue, you don't know how hard it is. So not only is this immunotherapy going to help me with zapping my active cancer cells, but it's supposed to give me energy, and I'm supposed to be feeling that, they said, within 6 days, I hope. So for right now, I appreciate your patience that I'm not responding to videos and that I'm not making videos, although I probably will make one for April 15th, and hopefully after I start my first week of immunotherapy, which will be a total of 4 weeks, I will be feeling so much better and have more energy. So I want to thank all of my subscribers. I greatly appreciate your support. I've been receiving some emails for updates, so I thought this was a great opportunity to let everyone know where I am. Thank you so much for staying all the way to the end. And as always, I appreciate you, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.